I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
Damn.
147. Shit, I
147.
tapped that chain. You know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know
he
he
ain't
is.
got no chance.
I already know he is.
Said no chance.
The rivalry between Tank Davis and Terence Crawford continues to heat up, making waves throughout the boxing world. For years, these two stars have argued over who could knock the other out, but now the debate has shifted to who earns more money and even who has the bigger partner. Things took a personal turn when Tank made some sharp remarks, sparking reactions from Crawford and fans alike. After Tank suggested a potential fight between them, Crawford finally had enough. He took to X to deliver a blunt message, calling out Tank directly, stop being scared and fight Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis before you talk about reaching a level you'll never achieve. Crawford's words landed hard, adding even more tension to the ongoing feud between two of boxing's biggest names. The back and forth continues, and fans are left wondering if this war of words will ever lead to a showdown in the ring.
Fish to fry, grow some balls and fight your core, Keyshawn, and stop being scared. That's probably why you ran your girl over and beat her ass, because she know you ain't got no nuts, my people. You know? And then right there, Gervonta pretty much insinuated if I was to fight Crawford, I'll make him look little. Then they both said, yeah, I want dudes to see me and try something. That would be his last going for greatness. And then Terence said, go for it then, you feel?
Crawford's challenge to Tank Davis strikes a personal chord, as Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis are more than just boxers. They're close friends of Crawford. Keyshawn is even considered Crawford's protege, training under their mutual coach, Brian Bomac McIntyre. Still, Keyshawn's career has yet to make a major impact. His performances against Miguel Madueño and Nahir Albright left much to be desired, and many fans point to his avoidance of Cuban sensation Andy Cruz, who defeated him 4 times in the amateur ranks. Despite these shortcomings, Crawford firmly believes Tank belongs at this level rather than constantly throwing his name into conversations above his weight class. While some agree with Crawford's tough stance, others argue that Tank might not only hold his own, but even have a shot at beating Bud in a head-to-head clash. The debate rages on.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes and, you know, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Ooh.
Wow.
Tank Davis has made it clear he's not interested in fighting the names Crawford mentioned. Davis has solidified his reputation as a box office star and knows his value. He's not about to give Keyshawn Davis a platform, especially since Keyshawn lacks a strong fan base or marketability. As for Shakur Stevenson, while his technical skills are undeniable, critics often label his defensive fighting style as boring. Even Eddie Hearn, who signed Shakur with hopes of making him a global star, is struggling to market him in the US. From Tank's perspective, a fight with Shakur isn't worth the risk or effort, especially when he'd have to shoulder the entire promotional load. Crawford, however, wasn't done. In a now deleted tweet, he took the trash talk to a whole new level. He mocked Tank's character and even brought up personal controversies, tweeting, "That's probably why you ran your girl over and beat her, because you got no balls, and she knows it." He ended the scathing post with a laughing emoji. This rivalry has reached a level of intensity rarely seen in boxing. It's no longer just about career moves or fighting styles. It's deeply personal. Crawford isn't just questioning Tank's professional decisions. He's taking direct shots at his pride, turning this feud into one of the most heated in the sport today.
Oh, there you go. Good God.
Tank Davis didn't let Crawford's insults slide. He hit back, accusing Crawford of prioritizing paychecks over legacy. Tank specifically called out Crawford's decision to challenge Canelo Alvarez for a fight in Saudi Arabia, suggesting it's more about cashing in a massive retirement check than chasing greatness. Y'all really think he's chasing greatness? Tank posted on X. He's not. That's just what he has to do to make decent money. The numbers seem to support Tank's claim. Crawford's last fight against Israel Madiev reportedly brought in only 75,000 to 100,000 pay-per-view buys, a stark contrast to the blockbuster figures Tank consistently pulls in with his events. This only fuels Tank's argument that Crawford's career moves are financially driven rather than legacy focused.
You got guys who are really, really, really good, and they're not really hell-bent on becoming a star. I put you in that category. I put Terence in that category. Maybe Shakur, where they feel like they don't really want to, but Terence ain't bothered about going to premieres.
Crawford sees things differently. For him, moving up 2 weight classes to challenge the unified super middleweight champion is all about securing his legacy in the sport. He emphasizes the historical significance of such a move. However, Tank Davis remains unconvinced, viewing Crawford's leap to 168 lbs without first proving himself at that weight as a sign of desperation. Fans are split. Some admire Crawford's bold ambition, while others agree with Tank, believing the potential fight with Canelo is more about cash than glory. The tension between Crawford and Davis is nothing new. It dates back to Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence Jr., where he celebrated becoming the undisputed champion. Not long after, Tank stirred the pot by claiming he could beat Crawford at 147 lbs. Crawford, appearing on The Breakfast Club, responded with calm confidence. If he comes up to 147 thinking he's just going to knock Terence Crawford out, he's got another thing coming, he said. The reply was measured but carried an unmistakable edge, reminding everyone that Crawford isn't easily rattled, and that certainly not someone to take lightly.
How you feel about that fight? Is it even possible at a catch weight?
Nah, ain't no catch weight. You come up to 47.
Not even entertaining a catch weight.
No, I'm not.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
All right, I'll welcome.
Despite all the back and forth, a fight between Crawford and Tank Davis seems unlikely for now. Crawford has his sights set on a blockbuster matchup with Canelo Alvarez, a fight that offers both legacy and financial rewards. On the other hand, Tank is gearing up for his next bout against Lamont Roach Jr., scheduled for March 1st at the Barclays Center. For fans of both fighters, the question remains, is this rivalry all talk, or could they eventually settle things in the ring? Adding to the intrigue are the divisive opinions surrounding the feud. Some argue that Crawford is punching down by entertaining a rivalry with Tank, who fights at 135 lbs and is significantly smaller. A matchup at 147 lbs or higher, they say, would be a complete mismatch. Others feel Tank's confidence is misplaced, underestimating just how dominant Crawford is at higher weights. Whether it's posturing or a prelude to something bigger, the drama continues to captivate boxing fans everywhere.
How do you not lead with ego? Like if you hear somebody like Tank say, 147, I knock Bud out.
Well, he just talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got the confidence in himself that he believed that he can do that because he's been knocking all these fighters out that he's been in the ring with. You know, so no knock to Tank, but there's definitely levels. You know, and
there's also the question of marketability. While Crawford may not generate pay-per-view numbers like Tank, his incredible accomplishments speak for themselves. This raises a debate. In boxing, should legacy outweigh popularity? Tank, however, isn't without his critics. Many accuse him of cherry-picking opponents and steering clear of the toughest names in his division, such as Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Crawford's comments about Tank being scared hit home for fans who believe Davis has yet to truly test himself against the elite. Still, Tank's supporters argue he has nothing left to prove. His impressive record, knockout power, and ability to sell out arenas are proof enough of his standing in the sport. The divide between legacy and marketability only adds another layer to this already fiery rivalry.
I mean, if he want to retire with the career that he got, then go ahead and do whatever you got to do. So I disagree with it. I think it's soft. but that's on him.
Terence Crawford has ended 31 of his 41 fights inside the distance, while Gervonta Tank Davis boasts an astonishing 28 knockouts in 30 bouts. If these two powerhouses ever faced off, it would be pure chaos, a setting where legends are born. Crawford's methodical dismantling of opponents contrasts sharply with Davis's ability to unleash jaw-dropping knockouts seemingly out of nowhere. Yet they share one undeniable trait: when they sense weakness, the fight is already over. Brian Norman Jr., who has sparred with Crawford, summed it up perfectly. Crawford doesn't rely on a single knockout blow. Instead, he methodically dissects his opponents, delivering a death by 1,000 pinpoint punches. Norman described Crawford's style as relentless, saying, "He doesn't necessarily one-shot people. He beats you up and then finishes you off." On the flip side, Norman reserved his highest praise for Davis's raw power. As far as one-shot power, I've got to give that to Tank. This underscores the difference between the two fighters. Crawford thrives on calculated precision, while Davis flourishes in moments of chaos. Crawford's brilliance lies in his adaptability, switching stances and exploiting weaknesses mid-fight. While Davis's boxing IQ is often underrated, his strength lies in capitalizing on unpredictable moments, turning the tide with a single devastating punch. Roy Jones Jr. weighed in on this hypothetical matchup, highlighting Tank's explosiveness. That's the one thing Tank has that Errol Spence didn't: raw, explosive power. An explosive fighter can change everything. Spence, an elite technician, struggled against Crawford's suffocating pressure and adjustments. Davis, however, is a different kind of predator, one who can end a fight with a single soul-snatching shot. Critics often point to the difference in competition. Crawford's resume includes names like Errol Spence Jr., Sean Porter, and Kell Brook. While Davis's knockout streak is remarkable, his level of opposition remains a topic of debate. In this fantasy matchup,
Tank Davis, bad dude. See, what I like about Tank is Tank brings something different. You know, back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover boxer, George was a puncher, Ernest Shavers was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab. Mike Weaver had over.
Crawford has ventured into boxing's toughest waters and emerged not just unscathed, but completely dominant. Tank Davis, by contrast, has built his resume with wins over names like Leo Santa Cruz, Ryan Garcia, and Rolando Romero. While impressive, it's not quite the gauntlet Crawford has faced. This contrast is exactly what makes a hypothetical matchup between them so intriguing. Davis has a knack for making elite fighters look ordinary, hinting that he might be able to rise to Crawford's level. Physically, Crawford would have the clear advantage. He's naturally the bigger man, with a longer reach and a frame that's proven it can handle weight all the way up to 154 low Bs. It's a classic case of skill, size, and experience versus explosiveness, power, and undeniable star power.
Rank him probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10. Because he definitely had the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get. And that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now
Tank Davis, while shorter and more compact, has proven he can carry his knockout power across weight classes. However, stepping into the ring with Crawford at 145 lbs would push him into uncharted territory. Crawford's versatility would be a major challenge. His seamless switch between orthodox and southpaw styles could disrupt Davis's rhythm, forcing him to think instead of react, a situation where Davis is arguably at his weakest. That said, Davis is far from a one-dimensional slugger. His calculated dismantling of Ryan Garcia, punctuated by a pinpoint liver shot, showcased his ring intelligence. Davis doesn't just throw punches, he sets traps. The real question is whether he could outsmart someone as seasoned and adaptable as Crawford. Then there's the intangible, Davis's X factor. He's the kind of fighter who doesn't need to dominate rounds, he only needs one moment. Against a skilled opponent like Crawford, that kind of raw power is a dangerous equalizer. Crawford, for all his brilliance, isn't invincible. Fighters like Jose Benavidez Jr. had moments of success, and Egidijus Kavaliauskas even managed to wobble him. If Davis lands clean, it could be lights out, no matter how well Crawford might be controlling the fight. This hypothetical clash boils down to two key questions. Could Davis find and exploit the opening he needs to deliver his fight ending punch, and could Crawford impose his style and drag Davis into deep waters where his explosiveness might begin to fade? It's a matchup that would test not only their skills but their ability to adapt under pressure.
405. 405.
85. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't even get them up.
These are not easy questions to answer, which is exactly why the idea of this fight sparks so much excitement. Tank Davis has claimed in the past that he could knock Crawford out, perhaps jokingly, but Crawford, the bigger man, has warned him not to punch above his weight. That kind of trash talk is what drives debates, and in this case, it feels earned. Davis may hold the edge in raw power, but Crawford's mastery of boxing fundamentals makes him a nightmare for anyone in the ring. Both men bring an arsenal that could dismantle the other, making this potential showdown not just intriguing, but truly dangerous for both fighters. Each has the tools to win, and the clash of their styles would make for one unforgettable battle.
Yeah. Oh, start closing up. Gotta let it go. Keep turning, step around. Keep turning.
The outcome of a fight between Crawford and Davis would come down to who could impose their style first. Crawford with his suffocating control, or Davis with his explosive chaos. While a fight between these two may never happen, the imagined battle lines are clear. It's a clash of two fighters who each define what it means to be clinical, though in very different ways. Davis's raw explosiveness contrasts sharply with Crawford's calculated brutality. The thought of such a fight would undoubtedly divide fans, ignite debates, and elevate the sport just by being discussed. Crawford has finished 31 of his 41 bouts inside the distance, while Davis has 28 knockouts in 30 fights, both proving they have the power to end a fight in an instant. It's a matchup that, while hypothetical, continues to captivate boxing enthusiasts everywhere.
Up straight, straight, double it, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, double 1.
The debate surrounding Tank Davis intensifies, especially with the involvement of the Saudis in boxing. While some fans and figures like Crawford throw jabs at Tank for resisting the new wave of big money fights in places like Saudi Arabia, others are actually supporting him for sticking to his principles. Even Tim Bradley recently voiced his respect for Davis, acknowledging his refusal to kiss the ring of figures like Turkish Al-Sheikh, who's been pushing for more high-profile paydays in Riyadh. Bradley, known for speaking his mind, openly commended Tank for staying true to his roots. That's why I respect Tank. Hey Tank, you got a new fan, dog. You are a real one. I like that, Bradley tweeted on X, reacting to Tank's stance against the growing trend of fighters chasing huge paydays from figures like Al-Sheikh. This ongoing tension between money-driven moves and loyalty to the sport is adding another layer to the already intense rivalry. And it's clear that Tank's decisions are gaining both support and criticism, callers.
For me, number 5, of course, it is the heavyweight.
Oh, no, okay.
Oh, you are in serious
Oh, no.
trouble. You are in serious trouble.
They know I love the heavyweight. You can add any fighters you want as number 5 heavyweight, not fighter only from Queensberry.
This narrative is a shift from what the sport is used to. For years, boxers have chased the biggest purses wherever they could, and with Saudi Arabia emerging as the new promised land, many fighters have flocked there for lucrative paydays. From Anthony Joshua's rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr. to Tyson Fury's upcoming showdown, the allure of Riyadh's riches has proven irresistible to many. But Tank Davis is taking a different approach, one that's earned him both praise and criticism. Davis's own words on X made his stance clear. Lol, they have to go over there to make money, and still, I sell where I'm from, be America. Most people built on a dollar sign, no loyalty at all. Anything popping, you all deal. Why didn't they invite everybody? But they invited people they deal with. Stop dating. Look at that little rat thinking he came up on something. Now tell them all to fight each other since they have a heavy roster. Davis's critique isn't just about the money, it's a commentary on the principle of self-worth over the temptation of a blank check. Unlike many others, Tank has repeatedly proven he can fill arenas and break pay-per-view records without needing to chase big money in the Middle East. That's rare in a sport where loyalty to fans often takes a back seat to the promise of financial security. And Bradley's recognition of Tank's stance sets the tone for a growing counter-narrative where fighters who stay true to their roots and principles are applauded. It's a reminder that for some, the sport is about more than just the payday. It's about maintaining authenticity and connection with the fans.
I'd love to work with him, you know, because I like what he's about. He's all about making the big fights happen, and I'm all for that, you know. But I've got a team, you know, I've got a professional team with me, and everything is organized.
Tim Bradley's words hit hard. Now, if you go over there and take back everything you said and you kiss the ring too for $150 million, you know Shakur is over there. And that's why I respect you. You're saying I don't need Shakur because you don't want to go over there. You don't want to kiss the ring. But if you go back on your word, then you're going to lose a big fan, dog. And I'm going to come at you. I'm going to come at you, dog, for real. This commentary strikes a chord with fans who feel boxing is becoming more about money than the sport's roots. Tank's refusal to bow to what he sees as kissing the ring isn't just a financial stance. It's a stand-up for loyalty to his base. It's about keeping boxing grounded in pride, legacy, and a genuine connection to the fans, rather than becoming a spectacle driven by paydays and flashy deals. In an era where big money can often overshadow the essence of the sport, Tank's position represents a reminder that there's still room for fighters who want to stay true to their roots and the real heart of boxing. Not everyone agrees with Tank's stance, though. Critics argue that his position is short-sighted, overlooking the massive global audience and once-in-a-lifetime paydays that come with aligning with figures like Turkish Al-Sheikh. They point to Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, two fighters, widely respected for their achievements, who are reportedly partnering with Al-Sheikh for upcoming fights. Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney are also rumored to have struck similar deals, signaling a shift in boxing's epicenter. But Tank seems unfazed by the growing trend. To him, the Saudi scene represents a departure from what boxing should stand for. Stance that's becoming rarer in today's landscape, where the sport is increasingly influenced by massive financial incentives. Tank's refusal to bow to the temptation of these big paydays is about preserving the integrity of boxing, but whether that will remain a viable path as the sport evolves remains to be seen.
I tell me to have a great fight. I don't understand. Give me good offer and we give you good fight. You don't want. Okay, give it in your way. I'm desperate. Offer for it, and he doesn't want with what we think is good for boxing.
Fans on social media are just as divided. Some praise Tank for standing firm, calling him a man of principle and a throwback to an era when fighters didn't sell out. Others, however, question his motivations, accusing him of using morality as a shield to avoid challenging himself against the best on the global stage. This debate reflects the broader tensions within boxing, a sport constantly torn between its noble art and its ruthless business side. But what do you you think. Do you agree with Tank that Saudi's influence could have a negative impact on boxing? Or do you think these opportunities are a natural evolution of the sport? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. Catch you in the next one.